I do come across that situation, at least I'm prepared for it. She took the self-defence course at London's Russell Square in early March of 2017 and began whitewater training. She spent a few weeks kayaking in Slovenia, preparing for her South America trip, arriving back home in the UK a few days before leaving for Peru. Emma landed in Lima, Peru on June the 15th, 2017 and detailed her trip on her blog, Instagram and Twitter. Within a few days of arrival, she began the 45-day trek to Rio Maranon with her safety crew, including a guide and an interpreter. Emma arrived at Sarameriza on July 29th and bid farewell to her crew. The following day, she began the next 3,000 miles of her journey alone. During her trip, she ran into frightening situations that would have deterred most women from completing their journey. In two back-to-back tweets on August the 21st, she told her Twitter followers how she had paddled hard upstream to reach a wee beach on the opposite side of the river to rest, only to find a man waving a machete and ravens eating whatever he had killed. As I paddled hard away, I could hear his shouts, she told her followers. She stopped in Sao Paulo de Olivense overnight on August 25th to rest. Emma reported the following day, 2 guys in a boat parked up for 2 hours and I want to get out of my wet clothes. And yes, I did try to engage, but they were the silent type. On September the 8th, she had a run-in with a local lady who was carrying a child and swinging a machete as she approached Emma as she set up her tent. Emma waved at the woman. The gesture startled the stranger and she ran off. Emma also battled high humidity, hot temperatures and tent-bending storms, but there were times when things ran smoothly and peacefully. But Emma's peace and tranquility did not last long. Locals had warned Emma of the dangers of kayaking alone near Karari, but she was determined to continue regardless. People who knew her later said nothing would have stopped her from going forward. After she made it past Karari, she tweeted, "But more trouble followed. I turned the corner and found 50 guys in motorboats with arrows. My face must have been a picture. The town was uber quiet. Too quiet. All go." Followed by another tweet saying, "Okay, 30 guys, but either way, that's a lot of folks in one area in boats with arrows and rifles." Emma safely made it past the men, but she was knocked out of danger's way. Police believe Emma pitched her tent on Boihiro Island in an area of the river often referred to as the Somaís River in the upper stretches of the Amazon in Brazil. This area is known for drug traffickers and river pilots. It is the same area the locals warned her against entering. Emma posted her final tweets on September 13th after setting up camp. Shortly after, Emma disappeared. Police and the Brazilian Navy searched for Emma. The Navy discovered some of her belongings, Evanilson, Gomez de Costa, and one of the arrested men, Artur Gomez de Silva, 28, were leaders of the Water Pirates, or Water Rats, a ruthless gang connected to drug trafficking, stolen merchandise, and murder. Evanilson and Artur approached Emma's tent according to the men's police statements, and Evanilson shot her twice with a 20-gauge sawed-off shotgun. Locals reported seeing Emma still alive and conscious in the gang's boat. Next, the gang sailed to the middle of the river and disposed of her body. The suspects told police they did not want her body to be found, so they cut her shoulders with a machete. Some reports state they also cut her throat. They wanted her blood to attract aquatic animals, so that animals would feed on the remains. The Telegraph and a few tabloids reported that Emma was tortured and raped as she died after being shot. Villagers have claimed. The gang said they had attempted to sell Emma's 2 cell phones, a GoPro camera, and a tablet computer. The outcome of the arrests is unclear, and there are no media reports discussing trials and convictions, if any. In 2010, British journalist Helen Skelton, then in her 20s, successfully kayaked more than 2,000 miles of the Amazon River. She completed her journey in about 6 weeks. However, she was not alone, and a support boat followed behind her for safety reasons. Emma has been criticised for travelling solo and not heeding the locals' warnings. Regardless, women often safely travel solo, even to dangerous locales. According to a 2020 study by thewanderingRV.com, 75% of trips that women took in 2019 were for cultural, natural sightseeing or adventure purposes. 86% of women would still travel alone, despite turbulent global events. Googling solo female travel yields as much as 45 million results, and women are more likely to travel solo than men, according to 73% of travel agents. Emma had been warned not to continue her journey. She did not put her safety first, and for this she paid a hefty price for ignoring the warnings. Lonely Planet advises women travelling alone in Brazil that the north and west, where there are lots of men but very few local women, should be considered off limits by lone female travellers. Emma was killed in the state of Amazonians, in the northwest part of the country. She prepared well for her long trip by researching and consulting with professionals, but her desire to finish the journey far exceeded